My name is Scott Talley. I'm the Chief Bottle Washer at Network in Action, and I am super excited about sales mastery. Just a quick commercial. For those of you that offer products and services across state lines, we have our Network with the Nation, which is every first Wednesday of the month from 3 to 4 o'clock. I'm so sorry. From 3 to 4:30 Central Time, every first Wednesday. And then typically you have your Network in Action meetings the second week of the month. The third week of the month, we have Sales Mastery. And the fourth week of the month, we have a speaker series. So I want to show you real quick how you can remember that. When you come right over here to the site, under Member Benefits, National Virtual, every single month, these are posted. There's our wonderful speaker today, Mr. Andrew Lawless, right here in the middle. And man, oh man, do you want to get next week on your calendar? I don't know about you guys, but cryptocurrency is like, I might as well be talking in Japanese. Sheldon Westfield is going to talk to us, and I have asked him repeatedly to act as if he's talking to a group of kindergartners. But as business owners, we cannot afford not to understand crypto. And so you don't want to be a dinosaur. There may be a day where you're taking some kind of currencies that you're not familiar with. So Sheldon's going to talk about that next week. And we just are recruiting great speakers, and we've got a great one today. So without further ado, let me introduce Andrew. Andrew's in Austin, Texas, by way of Germany, as he mentioned, with his Irish wife. And one of the things I love about Andrew is that he's timeless. If you follow him on LinkedIn, you will see, we're getting 11 more people. Let me get them all in here. Awesome. I felt from the start that this would be one of our more popular sessions every month, because all of us need to get better at sales. And so we'll have different experts from around the country helping us with that. And I'm loving the double growth here this month. So Andrew, Andrew. Andrew is a member of Network in Action in Austin, Texas. He has a lot of history networking, but he is an expert at LinkedIn. And the first thing I would really encourage you to do is make sure you follow him on LinkedIn, because one of the things I've noticed over the last year of getting to know Andrew so well is that he's very timely with his posts. Like the most recent post he had is about inflation, about how you can't be afford to not be ready for it and be stagnant. So I think you're going to find him extremely helpful, and I don't want to take it too much of his time. Andrew, thank you so much, my friend, for being here and helping us today. It's all yours.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you very much for that introduction. So I really appreciate that. I'm honored that you're all here. Some of you are sales pros, probably better than I am. So I'll do my best to provide value. In order for you to follow along, I put a link to a workbook into the chat, and I'll put it in there right now again. So there's a workbook. You don't absolutely need it, but it will enhance your experience. So when you look at the workbook, this is what it looks like. There's a little bit of background and so on, as you would expect from somebody who sells. And then we have these worksheets here, right? So we will go through these worksheets today relatively fast. So if you just print out the worksheets, not the entire book, then you'll be able to follow along well. So clear, everyone? If so, give me a taco in the chat box so that I know. I love tacos. We're in Texas, no pizzas. I also have type 1 diabetes, so I'm not, so pizza is the worst thing for me to eat. So anyway, cool. So you have the worksheet. So what we are going to do today is we're talking about how to sell on LinkedIn without being salesy, and even if you haven't sold before, and with the people that are already in your network or are just joining your network. Because what I hear all the time when I talk to my clients, the questions that I have is, how does this thing work, right? So, and how do we chat people out? What are we going to message? What's the messaging? What's the sequence? How do we move a person from connection or like a new connection to a lead and then to a client? Yes, and and many people do not get started at all because they're afraid. They're afraid because they don't want to come across as that sleazy car salesman person or car salesperson, or they don't know what to write, or they are annoyed themselves. Yes, that when they connect with somebody on LinkedIn, and you probably have that experience as well, right? So who here has connected with somebody on LinkedIn, and then 5 minutes later, you get a cold pitch? Yes? Give me a yes in the chat box so that I see it. Yes. Do we love it? No. But here's the point. Let me ask another question. Do we hate it? Yes? Do we hate it? Yes? Okay. If you hate it, then you might want to think about if LinkedIn is your right platform. Yes, because LinkedIn is a platform to connect with people for business opportunities, right? And so you should expect that people hit you up and that people make you proposals and that people want to work for. That's what it's there for. If you hate it, then energetically you will not attract the clients that you want either. Yes. So the second reason why you want to read all of that is because you can even learn from the worst sales pitches. Yes, at least you know what not to do. Okay, and then study it. It's my favorite hobbies, to study the approach and sometimes even go along with it just to see it. So, but today we're going to have a better approach where we are selling without selling. Yes, or let's put it, we are selling without being pushy. Yes, I think that's what we resent, is the pushiness. And by the way, who here has ever gone to a store and you wanted to buy something rather complex, and you were very super grateful for that one salesperson who gave you all the information and guided you through the process, and you felt, wow. Yes, so that's what we're going to do here today with on LinkedIn. It works, by the way, on other platforms as well. The mechanics are a little bit different, and but the psychology is the same, right? You hear people always say, oh, LinkedIn has a totally different psychology than Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. Not true, right? Not true. We will talk a lot about dating today. Yes. Again, I'm happily married. I'm not in the market, but people can relate. Yes. But before we go there, let's look at who we are dealing with on LinkedIn. So when you go on LinkedIn, even Facebook, right? So it's not limited to LinkedIn, but we're talking about LinkedIn today. You have 4 types of clients, right? The biggest group of clients, by the way, that's also true for your CRM. Who has a sales CRM? Yeah, cool, good, right? Same thing. I bet you that the vast majority of people are names that are in your database you know nothing about. Yes? You don't know who they are. You don't know why they're there. You don't know why they're connected with you. They don't even know who you are, right? So you cannot sell to those people. That's what I'm telling you. So your job here is to build. Here comes my German accent. Familiarity, familiarity with you and your brand. That's why posting is so important. That's when Scott introduced me earlier. Said, "Yeah, I see all those posts." Yes, they read it. They may not interact with you, but they see you, right? So build familiarity with your brand and get your name and get to know your audience. That's number 1. But you cannot sell to them. Number 2, the second larger group is this group here. And I need blue for this group. Okay. And these are what we call cold leads. Yes, they're cold because they know who you are. They are problem aware, so they may know that they have a problem. They know of you, but not enough. So cold leads are skeptical. Yes, they're skeptical because they expect exactly what we said before, right? They said, I'm going to connect with that person, and 5 minutes later, I will get a sales pitch. Yes. So then they don't know if you're good enough, if you're not a bearded liar or whatever, right? So they're skeptical. The third largest group is this group here in the middle, which are warm leads. And warm leads, they are curious. So they have known you for a while. They have followed you for a while. They've seen your posts. They may have seen your videos. And now they are at that point where they go, I would like to know more. Yes, it's interesting. I'm not ready to buy yet, but I'd like to know more. And then lastly, you have the hot leads. And the hot leads, they are ready to buy. Yes, does that make sense? So as you move people along along this progression, so again, you build familiarity first. Then, for example, for the cold leads, that's why it's so important that you have some kind of lead magnet or opt-in offer, whatever you call it. So that's typically a one-pager, which is simple, actionable, and easy to use, and moves them a step forward right away. Okay, so there, for example, will not come to a webinar like this, right, or workshop like this, because we haven't earned the respect yet or the credibility yet that they actually are willing to spend an hour with us. They don't know if that's worth their time. Do you know what I'm talking about? Who knows what I'm talking about? Give me a yes in the chat box so that I know that you're still here. It's awesome. So the warm leads, these are the ones that will go to webinars. Yes, because they've known you, they've seen your stuff. Like, okay, great. You know, I've got so much value from the post and the opt-ins and lead magnet, and now I would like to see what's more. Okay. Yes, for Monica, Susan, Caroline, Christy, super, Kathy, Norma, Amanda. Thank you, Jim. Awesome. Thank you very much for your feedback. It's very helpful. So, so then they come to the webinar, and the purpose of the webinar is to make them interested in your product so that they become hot leads. And hot leads, they are the ones that want an offer. Does it make sense so far? Does everybody follow? Give me a taco so that I know. So that's a little bit of the psychology that we're having there. All right. So what happens in most conversations when you just connect with somebody? They're typically still in this area here, yes? So they reluctantly maybe approve that or accept your connection request, and then they see. And then you jump to making an offer. It's too fast. It's like going on a date, going on a first date, and making a marriage proposal within 5 minutes. Awkward, yes? So there's a process, right? So when we date, let's go again. I haven't done this ever, but let's say we go on Tinder or Bumble or Match.com, depending how old you are. So the first thing that you do is you swipe. Yes, you're like look good, looking good, not good, look, and then you shortlist the people that you do like. Yes, follow. So after that, that doesn't mean that you're ready yet to meet them, right? The next step is that you start a conversation. And women here on the call, you're like horses, right? If you've ever been around horses, they pick up on the slightest their insecurities and weirdness like crazy. And you women have that as well, yes? So, and when you feel there's that guy is weird, you're not going to move that conversation forward, yes? True or false? Not different on LinkedIn, yes? So the third one is true. Yes, women, your ladies, thank you so much for your support. The next one is, so now you want to meet, right? You have a conversation like it would be worthwhile to meet, and you will not go, hopefully not go, or have your first meeting in a restaurant for 3-course or 5-course dinner, right? Because you might be sitting there trapped and thinking, how am I getting out of here? So, right? You probably I've seen some nodding heads. So you probably have been on those dates, yes? For the same reason, people don't come to your webinars, yes? Especially when it's a small webinar, and then it's awkward for them to leave, right? So what you do is you have a coffee at Starbucks for 15 minutes or a quick drink that gives you the ability to disappear relatively fast when you have to. Yes. So, and then when that went well, you decide to go on a second date, and then you take it further. The second date then is a longer date. Yes. Yeah. Is that how we date in the US? Or should be dating? Give me a yes or no. Yes, Melanie. Thank you, Valerie. Yes. We are going to do the same thing on LinkedIn. Same philosophy. Or when you sell on Facebook. same philosophy. Sell on Instagram, same philosophy. Right? The mechanics and the tools are a little bit different, but once you have that down and you have implemented that successfully in LinkedIn, you can easily take that process and to any other platform. Okay, so let's talk about the communication flow here for a while. So what we're going to do in LinkedIn is first we need to connect with the right audience. Yes. So the number one mistake that my clients make when I meet with them is they do what LinkedIn tells them to do, which is they connect with their peers and their colleagues, yeah, and their work colleagues from like 20 years ago. And when you do that, you will never get your message to enough people that want to buy your service or could potentially buy your service. Your job is to be very, very disciplined and remove everybody from your LinkedIn profile who is not a potential client. And you only invite people that are potential clients. And that's why having an avatar, an ideal client profile is so important. Yes. So you unfriend everybody and then tell them, meet me on Facebook, right? Or follow me on Twitter or follow me on Instagram, wherever your personal stuff is. So connect only with your clients. Yeah, that's a big move. I know. Charlene, I can tell you, I have unfriended it when I started the process, 4,000 people. Right? And my engagement, my sales success went up right away. A client of mine deleted everybody but 200 people and started to sell almost the next week. Okay, so get everybody who's not an ideal client, should not be in your network. So same thing, you go on a date, you're not inviting every woman that looks or man who looks good. Yeah. So you have you have a checklist, you know exactly a little bit of what you want, you have some flexibility, but you do the same thing here. So you connect. Then what you do is after you connect, you engage. You engage them in a conversation. Yes. After you engage them, you qualify them. Whether or not you want to make sure that they're really a good client, good fit. And then we call it triage in my world. So triage call is a 10 minutes call. It's the equivalent of a coffee or a cocktail, and where you just want to figure out if that person is worth your while. And then here's one circle missing, and then you sell. Okay, so in the process, it looks like this. We have you, and we have them. And for you, what you do is here, you send a connection request, and they accept. Yes. So then you engage people by posting and by commenting on posting, commenting on their posts, loving the posts, sharing the posts, providing value. And what they do then, we call this hand raisers. Okay. So they raise hands, meaning whenever they like your post, then they're signaling to you, hey, what you just wrote is interesting for me. And when they comment and they provide value, that's even better. Yes, and when they share it, that's even better. Make sense? So then after you post, then you qualify them through, we call it chat or messenger, right? So it's the messenger chat. And in the messenger chat, they're going to share. Not everybody, but those who share will share. And after sharing, now you have a 10 minutes conversation. And what you do here is you qualify, okay, and make a decision whether or not you want to move forward. And so they will also make the same decision. They will also qualify you. And then later on here, you make an offer and they buy. Does that make sense to everyone? If you have questions, why does this work? Is the question, why does this work? Rachel, unmute yourself and tell me what you want to know.
sorry, I meant to say, why does this work? It says I'm muted. Okay.
I hear you, yeah.
Good. As far as getting rid of all the people that you used to know and all that stuff, I was trying to figure out why that would work when you're trying to be seen by as many people as possible. And could those people not also promote you if they knew you?
So not in my experience. So if you have 200 people who are exactly in your niche, right? So who need what you have to offer, and you post, they are most likely to interact with you and connect and comment and like. If you're connected with people that have nothing to do with what you offer, you will just not be seen. That's it. Yeah. So
I have a question. Why is it necessary to dump people who are in your network, since everything I've read about LinkedIn says that their algorithms look at the number of likes that you get, and if you get people in your network who are peers or whatever and they like your post, that raises your LinkedIn SEO, if you will, and then LinkedIn takes that and will post it outside of your network more. So
yeah.
what's the purpose of dumping all of those people?
Because I just really want to communicate to the people that will actually buy from me. If you use LinkedIn as a networking event, fine. Yeah, but just your message will not resonate as much with as many in your audience. There's also
of course, but there's no downside to that. So it doesn't resonate. So what?
There is a downside to it, which is so nobody really knows how the algorithm works. Yes. So there's a lot of speculations, and we have like broad ideas and so on. But there's also a ratio, if like the number of contacts that you have versus those that are actually interacting with your content, and the better that ratio, the more likely you will be bumped up as well. Yeah. So so that's that. If you have any questions, give me your email address or name, or contact me afterwards. I'd be happy to talk. But Scott gave me a time frame that I have to honor. Okay, cool.
So we can also stick around a little later if we need to. Go ahead, Andrew.
Okay, I have time afterwards. Yes. So as to lead generation flow, so that's another view on it. A simpler view on this would be is we connect and engage, then we qualify, and then we sell. Yes, it was like a very simplified view. In order, now we come to also a little bit back into the algorithm conversation. So there are a number of activities that you need to do every day. Yes. So, and Scott mentioned that earlier, that I post something almost every day. It's very rare that I don't. And these are the daily activities. Yes. So every day we are connecting with the right people. We are posting something. We are liking our audience's posts, and we comment on them when we can. So we are a part of the community, because remember, we still need to build familiarity as well. Yes, makes sense? And people want to see us, and we need to be active in it. How that exactly ties in the algorithm, again, there's a lot of speculation. I've never looked at the algorithm. I just know it works. Okay. So then there are weekly activities, which is your email list. So the most effective part is your email list is the most important thing that you can ever build. Yes. So because LinkedIn can shut you down at any time if they want to, right? So I don't care what your political affiliation is, but they shut down the president of the United States on Twitter. They can do that with you in a heartbeat as well. Okay. So that's all I'm saying. And then once a month, that's the approach that we're going to use today. We have an event, and we keep on inviting people to events. Okay, and we can invite them a number of times, invite them. And when we invite them to an event, so let's say you have an event on the 3 strategies to automate your whatever processes, and people register for this event. What are they telling you? That topic is important to me. Yes, that topic is important to me. I'd like to know more. And you have developed my trust. Yeah, I earned my trust that I actually register, raise my hands, and eventually show up. Challenge here is this. Challenge is this: that when you do events, most people, about like 25% of people, show. Yes, and the vast majority is a no-show. Who has ever done an event and you had like 100 registrants and maybe 20 showed up? Yeah, almost all of you. Why is that? And of the 20, it's like one of them is Aunt Mary and an old colleague and a competitor who thinks you can steal some ideas from you, and others who want like were freeloaders, right? So who knows what I'm talking about? Very frustrating. And then what happens is like you work, you prepare the slides and all of that, and nobody shows up. Okay, so why is that? So these guys here are no shows because they are busy. Yes, they're producing, they're selling, they're getting stuff done. Yes, they don't have the time to come, or they wanted to come and then the client calls with an emergency, you will lose. Yes, it's that easy. So what if, but that also means that these people that are not showing are your best clients, your best prospects, because they're the ones that are working, they're the ones that are active, they're the ones that are selling, they're the ones that want to move their business or their career forward. Yes, making sense? So what if we could sell to these people without ever giving the webinar? And most people forget about that. They're relying on the webinar. I don't know about you, but I gave webinars, and the moment I started out, internet went down, or electricity was out in the entire block, right? Or my computer started to reboot for some reason. Things happen when you give webinars. Do you follow? Do you agree? Yes? Cool. So, so what we're going to do is we're taking the yep agrees super bin there. Yes, we all have, right? So here's what I've learned about successful people. Okay, and it's not from me. I learned this from Dan Sullivan, one of my coaches. And so when people start their businesses or their careers or wherever they are in life, and they have initial success, and then they start to plateau. Yes? Have you ever? We all have been there. And then they ask a question: how can I solve the problem? Yes, that's when they go to webinars, they read books, they even go to trainings or to conferences in order to learn. What they learn, though, it's hard. Yes, when you want to learn something new, and it looks, because pros they understand to make it look easy, but they worked hard on it. Yes, so it's very, very hard, and for that reason they realize, okay, so they continue to plateau. Has everybody ever here experienced that in yourself? Yeah, right. We're reading the books, we tried, and when we failed, we got frustrated, and so on. So, and what Dan Sullivan told me is these successful people, they ask a different question. They don't ask how, but they ask who can do it for me. And that's why they are more successful. And because what I've learned is from that is that poor people spend or invest time to make money. Successful and rich people, they invest money to save time. And you're the person who saves them their time. Yes? So when somebody registers, you go to them, say, look, here, right? You register for my workshop. You don't really want to go to the workshop. You just want results, and you want them faster and better than you could by yourself. Shall we talk? Different wording, though, right? But that, in essence, is the message. Do you follow? So, and the way we do this and I want you to think about that, is when you plan an event, there are 3 phases, right? So we have before the event, we have during the event, and we have after. And so the traditional way of doing an event or a webinar is this.
Andrew,
Go
should
ahead.
we be able to see your screen and what you're doing?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I frequently forget that. So there's a before, during, and after, okay? And and most people, what they're doing is this. They have a little bit of sales effort before. Yeah, so they send the information and the invitations to the events and so on, and maybe send them the newsletter and maybe put them into their email list and so on. And then there's high stress during the event. Yes, so you have people coming. People are not able to log in. Right? People don't have their microphones unmuted. People ask questions. Your computer breaks down. Then you prepared slides and thought for hours. What's the sequence? How do I pep up my slides so that they look good? And how do I now make the transition from I provide a lot of value to, hey guys, now I want your credit card. Yes, which is the most stressful part. Yes, who knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, right. So, and then again, what we said earlier, the people that show up as Aunt Mary, some of your colleagues, some peers, some freeloaders, and maybe 2 or 3 clients. Yes, yeah, all of the heads here, happens all the time. And then after when the workshop is over, it dies down. Yes, and then there's a little bit afterwards. Here's my replay. Would you like to book a call with me? What have you? Yes, follow. By the way, who here ever watches a replay? You do? Okay. I never do. I never watch any replays. All the time? Never. All the time? Never. Okay, so like we have like 2 fronts here: tacos or pizzas. Yes. So let me ask the taco eaters. Taco eaters, is it yes or no? Taco eaters?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. No. Yes. Okay. Yes. Depends. Okay, my theory was wrong. I thought the taco readers would be like more laid back. Okay, so okay. Anyway, so what I would like, what I'm submitting to you is that there's a better process, right? So where we have a lot of sales activity upfront. The moment somebody raises a hand, that is a prompt for us to initiate a conversation, right? So, and then you've done all the selling up front. So that's why you have 1 event in the month. You have 4 weeks, right? That generates leads for you for 4 weeks, not just on that one day when you give a workshop. Every time somebody registers, you initiate a conversation. And then during the workshop, totally relaxed. If only I don't want anybody to show up to my events, because that means I did a lousy job beforehand. Yes, ideally I would have liked to have sold everything before they show up. Make sense? Yes. So, and then when they show up, it's like 3 people show up, 4 people. It's a meeting amongst friends. I don't have any slides. I have my iPad, like you've seen it right now, and I show them some of the models. I have a Q&A. Everybody's happy, right? And I always also tell them, look, if you're waiting for a sales pitch, you're not going to get any. If you want a sales pitch, then it's time to sign off right now, because I'm not going to sell you anything. Why? Because I've done it already, right? And then at the end, then there's a little bit of the people that you couldn't get, and then that's where you use your replays and some other activities in order to sell. By the way, if you download this worksheet for this class, you will see how that like an automated follow-up will work. And I'm not sharing that with you because I want to sell to you. I'm sharing that with you so that you have some examples. Yes. So here's the link, download it. And so the process is very much the same when I do webinars. Okay, so in order to make that easy for you, I have in this worksheet, there's an event like a workshop description that did not get it signed up, but it has not come. Okay, Valerie, I will same. What? I'm sorry. I did this yesterday for this purpose.
This is
So what I will
exactly
do-
what you're talking about, the webinar that comes off the wheels.
Exactly. So let me. I will check that. I think what happens is when the webinar is running, there's a wait. So, but you will. I got it. So I got it. See, it's coming. So it will come. I will check that later on. But there's a
It went
wait.
to spam, Andrew. It went to spam.
Okay, then check your spam.
Yeah, yeah, I got
Sorry.
it. That's okay.
Cool. Awesome. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Now it showed. Okay, awesome. Now it makes me. I was like, I'm giving all this speech here, and then my own process doesn't work. Okay, so but here is in this worksheet is a script for you to that's like an example that you can use and a structure that you can use to post your event. You here's a description. You have the descriptions. Here's an example, right? So. In this case, we get more consulting clients next quarter with the people who are already in your network. So there are different approaches to that, right? You can have what we call the woo without the boo. Yes. So get clients without selling, get clients without improve your relationship without looking stupid. I don't know what it is, right? So the woo without the boo, or the woo with what you already have. So get clients from LinkedIn with the people that you already know. Right, so that's kind of like the strategy, and then you give them 3 things that you're doing, and here at the end is a qualifier that I always have. It's like if you're an independent consultant already making 150K plus, who wants more clients without more grind and burning the midnight oil, register and get your workbook. So with that, I actively repel the people that I don't want. Number one is one of the top mistakes also when people on LinkedIn or social media, you want to be too nice. Yes, you got to actively repel the people that you don't want, and without insulting them. Yes, that would be a good example. So here, and so here is the exact structure that I used broken down, and you can use this for yourself. Here's the woo without the boo. Here, lose weight without hunger, gain muscle without workout, get clients without selling. And the workshop name, here's a description, the description formula that you can use, and the description itself with the structure that you want to use here. Right, it's all in here, and then with your bio and all you need and your registration link. So you can use that. I don't need to go through this. It's not a workshop where we're actually going through it and then I put you on the hot seat. Yes, we can. But when you download this workshop, you have that here available to you. Okay. So cool. That's it. So I hope that was helpful. And now I'm opening up the floor for questions.
Anyone? Let's see. Just raise your hand there. I'm going to try to get over here. We have an echo. Any questions at all?
Yeah, this is Russ Hall.
Go ahead, Russ.
So Andrew, what I heard you say was call out all of your contacts in LinkedIn or connections to get down to a certain set. That's what I heard you say. Did you also, or did I understand you to say, set up a separate account to do that, or set up a private group to do that? Or did you literally say, get rid of all your contacts?
Yeah, but there's a lot of questions in one, right? So for one is, when it comes to the decision that you may want to make is, do you want to use LinkedIn to network, or do you want to use LinkedIn for sales? And if you use it for sales, my suggestion is that you primarily surround yourself with potential clients or those who could be potential clients. That's not always possible because some connections you don't want to upset. That's fine, but be aware that it's less than ideal, right? So the second question was with groups. So there's LinkedIn has a group and Facebook has a group, and it's maybe a preference on my end, and most of my colleagues feel the same. The LinkedIn groups are not as great as the Facebook groups. Yes, so I would actually move people that are connected with you on LinkedIn to my Facebook group. They interact more for whatever reason. You can do more things, and you don't have the tools on the LinkedIn group. I hate LinkedIn groups, right? So it's not their forte. All right. Did that answer your question?
I think so. I also asked if you were suggesting to set up a new account or a separate account on LinkedIn, but it sounds like you're just saying get rid of all the names.
Yeah, I don't. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Anyone else have a question? So while you're thinking of questions, let me just show you a couple of things that came into play during that time there. For those of you that are interested in past recordings and listening to past events, back up here under National Virtual in the top right-hand corner of your Network in Action screen, we archive all of the speakers. So if you want to go back and catch a replay, there's some really great ones here. Ron Sukanik, rest in peace, just passed away, but Ron did a great session about LinkedIn. Chris Kelso had a fantastic talk about the imposter syndrome. So you can take a look at these if you are one of those tacos or pizzas that watches sessions. They're right here on top. And again, all the future sessions are here. And then one last thing I wanted to mention, you may or may not know, part of your Network in Action membership includes a complimentary CRM system. So I noticed some of you were not using a CRM system when we talked about it. You get a free CRM system. So if you don't see it on your site, by all means, just let your franchise owner know that you'd like to get that. It takes about 30 seconds to click that on. Any other questions for Andrew? Russ?
Yeah, there are a few questions here in the feed. So let me go through this.
Great. Go ahead, Andrew.
By the way, just real quick, if you want to discuss your situation and get some feedback on what you're producing, your workshops and so on, here's a link, meetandrewlawless.com, and I'd be happy to go on a short call with you. What we're going to do is we will look at your current situation, what you want to achieve, see what's in the way, and what's possible for you in the next 12 weeks. All right. So that's the link. That's as much of a sales spiel that you're getting today. Okay. So just meetandrewlawless.com, and then I'd be happy to have that conversation with you. Here's a question. Let me go from the bottom. As long as I work. Thanks for showing work. Do you use a drip campaign system, Colleen? Do I use a drip campaign system? I guess the answer is yes. Yes. It works a little bit different on my end. Yes, I do.
Andrew, do you also use Sales Navigator or any other paid version of LinkedIn?
Yes. So I tell you two things. One is I use Sales Navigator because it has better search functions. So if you were targeting, for example, so one of my clients only targets organizations that have at least 5,000 employees and above. Yes. So you cannot search that narrowly with the normal, like with the free search version. So you have LinkedIn Navigator. I find it very clunky. I manage my leads in my CRM, but in terms of, I only use it for the search function. But that's a personal preference.
Could you put a commercial in? And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm a longtime user of LinkedIn and really didn't enjoy it, didn't like it, and I've been reintroduced to LinkedIn since Microsoft's purchase. Can you talk about some of the changes and why it's so much better?
I didn't say it was better. What I'm saying is, well, if you don't like, let's say if you like, let me say it this way, everybody who's on LinkedIn is also on Facebook. Right, so you can find them just as much on Facebook, and if you or Instagram, and if you like Instagram or Facebook better, or TikTok, do it, right? But the mistake, let me show that to you here real quick. So I need to add a page here. So add a page, So let me share this. So when it comes to sales, so here is what most, when they start out on social media, here's what they're doing. Okay, so oops. All right, so they use multiple platforms. Yes, multiple platforms, and trying to check it out. Then they have multiple offers, right? They have multiple people that are connecting to. Yes, and they have multiple prices to offer, and they switch every 3 to 4 months. Yes, because they tried LinkedIn, they tried not the best color combination, but then you get it, right? So they tried all the tools, and it doesn't work. So okay, let's go to Facebook, and then LinkedIn sucks, Facebook sucks, right? So TikTok sucks, and when I start out with my clients, what they usually do is are on 3 to 4 platforms. They have 3 to 4 different offers. Because they are all experts, and I look around this room here, I can already tell you that almost everybody on this call, you can probably help a lot of people with a lot of problems. Yes. And so that's what they're doing, right? So they're offering all to multiple people, multiple solutions, multiple prices, and they switch every 3 to 4 months. Yes. So what I am suggesting to you is to commit to the 5 ones. One platform, one offer, one customer avatar, one price for 1 year. I'm asking you this: what will get you results faster, the right approach or the left approach? I see messages, right or left? Give me in the chat box. Right. Yes. Right. Yes. Super. Yeah. 100%. Right. Scott. Yes. Right. Super. Carol. Right. Kathy. Right. Yes. So the right approach. And people are not getting anywhere with any of those platforms because they switch all the time. And if you do not like LinkedIn, it's totally cool. Then use Facebook. Make it work on Facebook. What I can tell you though, if you haven't made it work on LinkedIn, it won't work on Facebook either.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. What matters
Andrew,
is
what was the word in the top of the pyramid you had there? And then we have a question from Christy.
Switch.
Switch.
Yeah.
Christy, you had a question, please.
Yes, I did. So
Thank you, Christy. Go ahead.
you're welcome. What does your day consist of? How long do you spend on LinkedIn, and how long do you spend commenting in groups, and how many groups are you commenting on or posting in every day?
Great question.
So great question. Some of the things that I'm sharing is actually not legal. I mean, like LinkedIn doesn't like it. I use a tool called LinkedIn Helper that is active every day for me in the background. While I'm here on this call, it's sending out connections requests, for example, to the people that are pre-selected. I pre-select that once a month, and then that system works by itself. I've used it for over a year now. I've got not flagged once by LinkedIn, but LinkedIn hates it. If they find it out, they will shut you down, right? So it's not actually a recommendation that I make. I'm just sharing my experience, how I use it. So there are a lot of activities that you can automate, like when you connect the first message and so on, and then you only respond to the people that are actually responding to you. Right. So again, for me, that works around the clock. Well, during office hours, whenever I'm on meetings like that, or I will go to the gym with my son later on, it will be working in the background. When it comes to posting, we have a social media planner and a cadence that is actually super easy to implement, and it will takes my clients on average 45 minutes to plan out all the posts for the week, and then you only focus on the responses that you got, the reactions that you got, and initiate a chat. Another level is LinkedIn doesn't like that either, but you can have your VA or your assistant manage your account. Right, so because you cannot automate a relationship, yes. So the moment that goes into a conversation, then you feel it when there's a bot, right? It has to be a human-to-human conversation. However, there's also structure to the conversation. I know when I start a chat, like what my first question is and what my last question is, and how I move that person along to qualify them. Here's the other difference. When I chat with people, or my VA chats with people, she gets compensated not by the number of people that she moves to a strategy session, but by the number of people that she has turned down.
Interesting.
Okay.
Andrew,
So because
Andrew,
you select,
post that pyramid one more time for me. Post that pyramid one more time. We're having. Can you post the pyramid one more time?
oh yeah.
And while you're doing that, I'd like someone has asked if you could share a success story with one of your clients.
Me?
Yes.
Well, yeah, okay. So my all-time favorite success story is you will love that story. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I met her. She came to one of my in-person masterminds. Of course, before COVID. We had a mastermind in San Diego before Brandon Bashar's HPX Live, it was called at the time. And I'm certified by Brandon, so I was there, and I thought, well, figured I'd invite some of my clients and my friends and some prospects to like a mastermind before and prep them, and so that they get most of the experience. And so this woman, Shelly, comes in. She's like in her 50s, and very unassuming. Very nice, but not an aggressive salesperson or like the stereotypical salesperson or business person that you would have in mind. And so she just bought a company in a technical documentation, and then 3 months later went to lockdown, and all her clients canceled all of the contracts. At the same time, she lived in a trailer in front of a house because she was building a house. She was planning to move into this house like 3 weeks later, and couldn't because construction stopped. Yes, so she stayed in this little camper trailer for a year and a half, and she was very nervous, and she gave me a call, and I thought, okay, I know what this is about. She's going to probably cancel our agreement. And she said, no, Andrew, I've made that investment and I need help. And I would like to continue. I need more help from you right now. And I'm happy to say that since then, she has tripled her revenue and is in the 7 figures.
Awesome. We love those stories.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other questions? Feel free to just speak up while I'm making my way through them.
Is there a special social media planner that you recommend? No. I can tell you, I have a software called Coach Marketing Machine, which is by a very small vendor, so it's a niche. And in my mind, the social media planner is inferior to everything else that I can find, but it integrates very well with everything else that I'm doing. And so I would look into like, do you like it? Does the interface work with you? Can you integrate with your systems? And just Google social media planner. Typically the first 5, it's like there are slight differences, but I would not overthink that at that stage that most people are at right now. Yeah.
Quick question. Sorry, back on the pyramid. What was the thing with people? The word that goes with the people. You said most people have 3 or 4 platforms, and you recommend only doing one. Most people have 3 or 4 offers.
Just remember that word POPPY. Platform, offer, people, price, and year.
But what is the people? I don't understand what people means.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Good question. That is so. my clients are consultants, yes. So and business coaches. So when they start out, they are very reluctant to niche down, right? So because they are afraid that if their niche is too narrow, that they lose all the opportunities, right? So they struggle with revenue, and they feel like if I'm niching down further, there are all these other people I can help, and they will never find me. The opposite is true, right? So let's say if you had shoulder pain, yes, and you went to your doctor, and the doctor said, you know what, go see an orthopedic. You see a general orthopedic surgeon, and they looks at you and say, you know what, Judy, it's not your shoulders, actually your foot is off, right? And that's why you're standing like that, and that's why that shoulder hurts. So we need to actually fix the foot. You know what, I'm a shoulder guy, but I can give the foot a try. Yes. So, but that's how that comes across. And so the more specialized you are, the more you have the ability to speak to your audience, right? So when it comes to your audience, let me share that real quick. Also, there are 3 criteria that you want to define. The first one is, do you like that person? My criteria, my selection criteria for clients is that every single client that I work with, they're all different, but also everyone is a person that I can see myself having a drink with, having dinner with, having a coffee with, and having a great conversation, even if there's no money involved. Right? So if you have clients that you don't like, it's going to be tough, and you will start hating your business. You also would want to so again, one is, so you want them to be self-identifiable. So for example, when you say, I help small business owners, okay? Nobody goes to a barbecue and introduces themselves as, I'm a small business owner, right? Nobody says at a barbecue, when they get asked, what do you do? I'm an entrepreneur. Unless you're a multi-level marketer, right? The only people that call themselves entrepreneurs are MLMs, yes? So, but everybody else will describe themselves in terms of what they do. I own a car repair shop. I run a barber shop. I'm the CEO of a small technology company. I'm a project manager at an ad agency or whatever. Yes, so they need to be self-identifiable. Small business owners is a demographic. It's not a niche. Yes, makes sense. So self-identifiable. You also know that when they're magazines, right? Then they're then that's usually a sign that they're self-identifiable. Then you need to have credibility there. Either because you have helped people in that business, or it has been you have a professional background. And I call it loving credibility, because it's all about love and how you connect. Yes, it's not about money, it's how much we give and the difference that we made. And you want them to be solution aware. So meaning that not only are they aware that they have a problem, they also are aware that there are solutions out there, of which you are one. Yes? Makes sense? So the second group of criteria is, can you help them? Right? And the question here is, can you provide this group massive value? Massive value. Okay. Second, is it time bound? Especially right now with the economy and inflation and so on, people will want to know what are my expected results by what time frame. Okay. And lastly, you want to make that decision what you're offering. You can offer services, you can offer information. My handwriting is so bad because I broke my right hand like 6 times, so I apologize, but that's why you need to listen. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. And you can offer a community, or you can offer stuff, products. Yes. And right now, especially when we're in recessions or when the economy goes bad, there are 5 areas, or 5, I would say, classes or categories that are virtually recession-proof. We know from the last recessions that the demand for those kind of services or products skyrockets, or at least stays flat during a recession that has been consistent over the last 18 years. These are health and beauty. You know what, when we went into the COVID lockdown, which the one product that skyrocketed in sales, which one that was? What do you guess?
Liquor.
Skincare.
Oh,
Skincare products. Yes. So I don't know, whenever there's a recession, skincare products go up. Defies me, but that's what it is. Health and beauty. Yeah. The second one is money and finances. Okay. Money and finances means you either help people make money, or you help people to save money, or transfer money to other generations. Okay. So those are the three areas, the three categories that are almost recession proof. So whatever service you have, you got to tie it to that right now. So for example, one of my clients is a fractional CIO, and he works with IT groups, and he can solve everything. Yes, he's done it for Fortune 50 companies, and but what he's chosen to is like, no, I help them, IT departments, with their relationship with their teams and the business. Because if you've ever been in IT, then you know that there's conflict between IT and business all the time, and IT is very frustrated that they will never I use my slide. They will never they never get asked, and then the business makes decision by software. They need to deal with it. Yes. So yeah, I want to number two. So health and beauty, money and finances, and the third one is love and relationship. So right now, for example, client with staff retention is important, or when companies let people go, right? So then, how do you communicate to the high performers that you want to keep and make sure that they are not getting anxious and leave? That's love and relationship. The relationship between the CEO and the board, for example, or shareholders, these kind of things. These are the three that I'm operating in. There are two more that are super, super recession proof. Number one is entertainment. Well, we've seen this with all these streaming services during the lockdown. Boom, they all went up. And the fifth one is vice. So alcohol, drugs, sex, and so on. Gambling, right? So I am not in either of the last two, but if you are, then you're in a good spot. Okay, did that answer your question? So then finally, the third one, and most people forget that when they sell, is money. Can they pay you, right? So do they have the dollars, right? Are they eager to pay? Yes, are they happy to pay because they see the value of getting results faster and better than they could by themselves, right? And the third one is, are they relationship bound? So the best clients understand that it takes time to build a relationship. It takes time to know each other, get to know each other, and understand each other and get results, right? You don't want clients. It depends on your business, but in my line of business, I don't want clients that are transaction based, right? So give me 10 hours of your time, I give you $10,000 or so, right? So that is not how I operate. But again, there are other businesses that thrive on that, not mine. So, but these are the and all of that together, that's your sweet spot. If you have clients that you love, you can help them and they can pay you. That's the one person that you want to pick.
There's one other recession-proof one that I would say, and that's the federal government. They will spend money at any time, anywhere, any place. So if you can build a few federal government contracts, it helps you in a recession.
yeah.
Unless that goes to a shutdown, right? Because I have clients that went to shutdown and suddenly had no income for 6 months. So that can happen too. But we can also plan for that 100%. Yeah.
Great stuff. Andrew, thank you so much. I appreciate your expertise. Appreciate you sharing some time with us. And I want to thank all of you other Network in Action members and our franchise owners for joining us. I am super aware of how the most cherished commodity we have is our time. And I applaud y'all for taking time out to sharpen your saw. Hopefully these techniques will help you make your life a little more efficient and grow your customer base. Thank y'all all for joining us. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you very much for listening and interacting. It was a pleasure. It was one of the best audiences I've had in a long time. So thank you. I appreciate you all. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Andrew.